Hey everyone, welcome to Near Disney. It's the Wednesday show where we bring you all the best of the news stories and market updates and public interest stuff that's happening within a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle. So, before we get into it, let's cue the theme song. All right. Well, it's just me tonight in the host chair. We don't have the panel with us. Believe it or not, that the other members of the dream team are all helping out some other people with real estate needs. I know it's kind of working late, but it's hard to say it feels late when the sun is literally out at 7 p.m. and the sky is blue. I can see it out the window and it is still shining out there. So it's kind of hard to feel late, but hey, that's what we realtors are about. Really do the weekends thing. We don't really do the business hours things. Someone was just I was working with was like kind of like apologizing today for trying to like inconvenience me, and I said, hey, no, this is all my job. You can never bother me. So that's great. So you got me tonight, Elijah Lewis with Florida in Motion Realty. Feel free to say hello in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Always appreciate your engagement. You guys are who we do it for. And the other thing that we just want to bring attention to is today is May 14th. We are 1 week out from the grand opening of Epic Universe, the next prong of Universal Studios. It's going to be like a whole new park that's added. And we know that a lot of people are just thinking about ways to plan their visit to check it out. Not everybody who watches is local. And I saw like an article from Yahoo today, just kind of reminding people that the Brightline train, high-speed rail, is a great way to connect all the way up through Florida. And it's like, can you take a Brightline to go to Universal? And the answer is like kind of yes. Basically, Brightline can take you from like the Miami area and the West Palm Beach area and like ride you up into Orlando. And basically, from there, you arrive at the Orlando International Airport, and park goers can take Brightline to the Orlando stop, where a Universal Orlando offers the Superstar Shuttle for traveling round trip one way between the airport and the Universal Orlando hotels. And the ride from the airport to Universal Orlando by the car from there is like roughly 30 minutes. So, hey, you can make your excuse to check it out. You go to the Universal Orlando website and they've already got your pages where you can look at Epic Universe. This is kind of still in the preview ticket days. I know that they're going to stop doing preview tickets for like a little bit just to get the park ready for those days just up until the 22nd when it all opens up. But hey, that's really cool. I'm not seeing a way to add Epic Universe to a annual pass right now. I want to buy one. So I mean, when I figure out how to do it, when I figure out how to have a Florida resident annual pass that includes Epic Universe, like with no blackout dates or with however you want it, I will definitely share the news about that, because right now it just kind of seems like they're just letting you plan individual trips or adding it to smaller packages than annual. But I'll definitely keep you up to speed on that. And as for oh, hey, I got a comment here from YouTube from Mallory. Was just looking on Zillow. Hope all is well. Yeah, that's a great way to find a lot of our listings. Great way to just kind of participate with us. People have the resources now more than ever to kind of just show us realtors what you're looking for and partner together in the search, and we will get you into those fine listings. So yeah, appreciate you, Mallory. Thanks for commenting. And speaking of our listings, actually, I wanted to share a really cool new listing that we have in Celebration, Florida, the town that was built by Disney. This is kind of on a private street that's near to that downtown area where all the shops and restaurants are. It's called Nadina. And this is a home that's single family, has a really awesome backyard space and an apartment living. So I'm just going to show you that. It's a 4-bedroom, 3.5-bath home, and I'll give you the rundown after it. We're priced at $1,256,000, but there's some other pricing incentives I'll tell you about after you check it out. Awesome. Yeah. So basically, this home 616 Nadina Place, that is a private street in Celebration that's near to the downtown, price of 1,256,000. And as you saw, it is nicely updated in there. We love to see kitchen and bathrooms done to modern standards. Like those are decor appliances in the kitchen that you saw. Um, Also had that large fenced-in yard area. That was actually some astroturf that they had, so it just kind of makes it easier so that you don't have to worry about the lawn care as much as that. That's always an expense people got to factor in. And what's cool about this home is that there is some seller incentives that I want to tell you about. Basically, it was at that 1,256,000, but basically 56,000 of that is available to be credited toward any kind of improvements that you want. And you saw it's pretty updated in there. So what kind of improvements are we talking about? You saw like in the front space, they had like a large area here that's basically great for formal sitting. And then adjacent to that was a beautiful office space as well, next to a half bath. And the idea here is that you could use those funds. We already had a contractor come in there to create a first floor primary bedroom if that was necessary. Large amount of square footage between those rooms. So if you needed that space on one floor, that's some funds that could go toward making that happen. Otherwise, maybe you want to do some other things that bring it up to your standards. That just are things that you personally need to make a home feel like home. But with that location, with those soaring ceilings and those improvements, it's a beautiful home in a great location. Get in touch with us if you're interested in Celebration. It's where our office is. There's a lot of cool homes we have, a lot of great listings, and that is just one of the neat new ones that we want to talk about. But sort of talking about the market more broadly, I saw some data here from Keeping Current Matters. Oh, I want to add this to the stage real quick. Keeping Current Matters was actually saying that buyers are maybe more likely to get concessions right now. And so that may mean that the market is leaning more into it being a buyer's market. Inventory we love that it's rising, but it's still just not like at that point where it's totally tipped. It's still kind of relatively low on a historical standpoint, but the fact that it is growing does kind of push the cards in buyers' favor some more. Buyers are getting to be a little bit more picky and being able to ask for some things again. And that's what we love to do. It's one of the reasons that it's great to work with a realtor, because we are your advocate and we are in your corner and we know what to ask for and how to fight for you on getting some of those things. Even if you sign the as is contract, we see what we can do, but we also just try to work those things up front to just make it happen. And also, it's just kind of what sellers were talking about maybe needing to do in order to get a contract on a home where maybe it's not that fiery market in 2021 anymore where it was going to sell itself. So, I mean, concessions versus incentives, like they're used interchangeably, but just kind of it's like a concession is something the seller gives up or agrees to in order to reach a compromise in a deal. And an incentive is an offer, like a benefit that the seller advertises up front to attract and encourage buyers. Kind of like that 56,000 I was talking about that can go toward any improvements you want with that home we have at 616 Nadina Place in Celebration. Some of the most common ones that, you can get some help on our closing costs. We're starting to see closing cost credits again. And if like you wanted that part of that money to go toward closing costs instead, hey, we could arrange that. Mortgage rates buy downs. I think sellers can like contribute like 3% of a sales price in order to help buy down a mortgage interest rate. That could just kind of help you lower your rate to just get a better deal, because we kind of have had the Fed keep the rate steady for like 3 meetings in a row. There's a lot of talk that hopefully we're just right about on the verge of finally getting that next rate cut, and hopefully they'll continue. We're definitely going to continue to bring you coverage of that on this channel as well. Discounts, price reductions, upgrades. You just promise, like, that it needs a new fridge, or it needs a new washer and dryer or something like that. Just get ahead of it, advertise it. Home warranties are good. We as your agent, when we represent you, like in Florida Motion Realty, like you work with me, Elijah Lewis, my phone number's on the screen. we will typically gift you a home warranty, like a top tier one, as a closing gift, just to make sure you have as much peace of mind as possible. So basically, yeah, I mean, home builders are offering incentives as well, 56% on to be built homes and 74% on quick move-in homes. So like basically like 3 out of 4 new construction homes are offering like, significant concessions, giving you some incentives, and that maybe closing costs and interest rates. And as you can see, 44% of sellers of resale homes are giving concessions to buyers in March. So the data shows that if you kind of view this side of the graph here on the right side, 44%, that's pretty much in the ballpark of highs for the past for the past 6 years. So this is a great time to actually be a buyer in this past decade and be getting some real great concessions from sellers. So give me a call if you're looking to continue your home search, and we can just partner together on what the best incentives can look like, and also just get you in our Rolodex of lenders and who's offering the best rates and the best programs that fit you. We've had some of them on this channel as well, talking about programs. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, so often great to just hear that there's people throwing buyers a bone finally again. And then from the sellers and of the spectrum, when we're trying to get you to sell, as best as you can, make it a show ready. This is just kind of a fun little article I saw on Instagram that just is a good little reminder about how to keep the home show ready. Smells that don't sell. Take care of these before listing your home, or at least before a given showing. Like this, it's okay when you tell us that you need 24-hour notice, and this is the kind of things that you're trying to take care of within that 24-hour window. And oh, hold on a second, I lost it. Pet odors as a common culprit. In fact, this showing we were just doing today, the poor guy had to get like 3 or 4 pets out of the house in order to do the showing today. So we definitely made sure we brought you a really qualified buyer before you went to all that trouble. Tobacco smoke, hey, it's just something to keep in mind that this is not a generation where there's a lot of tobacco smokers these days, and it really sticks to everything. Dirty laundry, yeah, exactly. I was just doing a showing recently where there was just laundry piles as well, so it's always great to have a laundry room instead of a laundry closet, but you're not really showing it well as a selling feature when people have to like wade through unmentionables in order to check it out. Mold or mildew, that should seem like it's so obvious, but I kid you not. I recently we had a showing at a place where the door to the outside, the back door, was covered in literal mold spores. And this was like a home that was actively lived in with a family that had young kids. And so like every time the little kid has to reach up for the doorknob, he's literally touching visible mold spores. So this guy's we got people who you can call, put some kills on it, do some stuff, or remediation companies as well. We can get you in touch with. That's probably the more necessary one at that point. Full trash can, trash stinks. Clear it out, throw it out in the receptacle for the showing. As there was a SpongeBob quote I remember, so can't have dirty garbage. And competing scents. I don't know, I guess they've got like a tray of perfumes here, or just other things that just kind of create a whole bunch of smells at once, which can kind of overwhelm the olfactory sensors. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good list. So when you're trying to get your home show ready, definitely mind these things, because it's not just about curb appeal on the eyes, but smell appeal as well. And with that, let's just throw it over to our next topic. It's about is renting less or more expensive right now? Depends on which data report you cite. Well, sometimes you got to rent. Sometimes it's the thing to do in between the purchases, where we were talking to someone who they want to dive into celebration. They're thinking about buying, but they just wanted to rent for a year just to make sure that they liked the community. Try it before you marry it, kind of thing. And I get it, But as far as the data goes for rentals, newly published data reports that there are some strikingly different views of the rental market. Redfin reported the median asking rent of April was 1,625, down 1% year over year, and the biggest decline since February 2024. So basically, seeing one source saying rents going down 1%, but on a month-for-month basis, the median asking rent was up 1.2%, which Redfin said was typical for this time of year. So I guess month-to-month basic versus year-to-year. April marked the 14th straight month in which asking rents barely decreased or increased, with a year-over-year change of 1% or less during those months. Basically, sorry, I thought I highlighted. The vacancy rate is up a bit. So, I mean, there's more on the table. But basically, a typical home buyer says needs to earn over $50,000 or more than the typical renter in order to afford monthly housing payment. However, there's a report that found that renters today need to earn more than $80,000 a year to comfortably afford the typical rent, which is like, not. So it's just kind of like living housing costs are expensive no matter which way you go is kind of how it seems, because it says that was $60,000 5 years ago. So my goodness. And this is kind of a place that's telling you about national averages. So you get in touch with me, you get in touch with your local realtor when you want to know about like a more specialized market like Central Florida or neighborhoods within Central Florida. Because like Celebration, Florida is going to be very different than Davenport, and there's short-term rental communities versus long-term rental communities, and we show you the data about like what areas hold in their value. But really, of course, we always say that the point of why we'd encourage purchasing is because you're building equity. You're not paying off somebody else's mortgage, you're paying off yours, and you are building equity so that you can maybe just make some money on it. See it as kind of a long-term investment. So, we'll talk to you all about that. And we're just happy to go over the market. Oh, got another comment here from YouTube. It says 10 out of 10 would recommend working with Elijah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We do our best for you. We try to do 110% soup to nuts, all that 24/7. I was talking, there was like a realtor I was dealing with like not too long ago where it was like she wouldn't write up a contract on a Sunday because she's like, listen, I don't work on Sunday. So like people come to her say like, we found the house and we want to pick it. We want you to write up a contract on it. And she said, I don't do that. And then someone else put in another contract and the house sold that day. So I mean, like everybody's got their own boundaries and work profile and stuff. But I tell you, make sure you get you a realtor. It's gonna be 24/7 because when that house comes along, especially if it's a nice one that just hit the market, and that's when all the eyes are on it, and everyone's gonna offer their highest and best because it's just so new. Because after it accumulates a little too long, everyone starts to think like, why hasn't it sold by now? But that's just the psychology of real estate and offers. It's like that. It's like we got to get in the Zen zone. All right, folks, that's pretty much all that I had for you guys today. It was just me, no Sue, no Virginia, no none of the other dream team, but they'll be back before long. And of course, Kim Hawk will host the Friday show as well at 1:30 p.m. We do like a more specialized focus on one area of Central Florida, and we create like a highly produced video to go over that. So you'll see Kim Hawk, the fairy godmother of real estate, as well. So we encourage you to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us get out to you guys. We're trying to get on the path to 10,000 subscribers. And when you do that, it really helps recommend us in the algorithm so we reach more people. And that's a blessing to us. Well, we're trying to do our best to bring you the good content. So take care. Enjoy your, I want to say evening, but it feels weird to call it an evening when the sun is out and the sky is still blue. It's awesome. We are getting right into summertime in Florida. It's going to be a lot of fun. Y'all take care.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.